Right now, there's a 5'7" guy who's 3 hours into watching videos about how to grow taller after puberty at 2 a.m. And he's being sold the exact same scam business models as penis pills and AI girlfriends. The people selling you these height programs know this stuff is a lie. And they know this because one of the best ways to make money is to sell things based on primal instincts like fear, sex, security, health, etc. And you end up emotionally buying because you think you will get more huzz if you take the penis enlargement pill 9000. To help you avoid getting scammed or wasting your time, I'm going to rank everything that actually works. To begin with, we have growth plates. This is what everyone is selling a workaround for. And these are areas of soft tissue, what are called cartilage, and they're near the ends of your long bones. And they produce new bone tissue during adolescence. But when puberty ends, this cartilage then hardens and turns to bone. For most guys, that range is around 18 to 20, and that's it. Your cartilage is gone. There is no exercise, supplement, stretch, or jumping program that will reopen them. Now, this leads us to our first scam. HGH boosters. In grown adults, HGH doesn't lengthen the bone, it adds soft tissue, and it comes with real health risks, which is why it's prescription only. The natural HGH booster on Amazon is usually just a vitamin D pill. It makes you feel like it's doing something if you're lucky, or in the worst case, it literally does nothing at all. Now, I will add this, if you are taking HGH, it will help to make you taller and have wider and stronger bones, but this only applies to teens and people in their very early 20s. For most people, after that, HGH itself won't cause you to become taller. Moving on, we actually have something that made me inspired to make this video in the first place. We have jumping protocols. Look at this goofball. Look at how retarded this is. Current height 5'11", potential 6'7". This is just such cope and like absolutely retarded. I don't know why anyone thinks this actually works. All of this is real exercises, but it builds bone density, it adds leg strength, and it's useful for athletic performance. But if you think jumping around like Mario is gonna make you taller, you are mentally ill. I've also seen this stuff like skipping rope methods to get you taller, and if it was that simple, everyone in the world would be jump maxing right now. And for that reason, this is going F tier. I don't know why people even bother with this garbage. All right, so this leads us to our next thing, hanging protocols. By the way, shameless plug, if you aren't following me on TikTok right now, what are you doing? This has to be the second dumbest trend I've ever seen. Hanging does decompress your spine, and that part is real. You know, it does temporarily cause disc expansion, which makes you a bit taller. However, the people selling these protocols always leave out the fact that gravity exists, because it reverses the second you stand on the ground and you start walking around a bit, because gravity recompresses it immediately. Measuring yourself right after a hang and calling it height gain is the same as me measuring myself first thing in the morning and calling that my real height. Your spine does stretch, it's the same mechanism as hanging, but it changes very quickly throughout the day. And for that reason, again, F tier. Alright, next we have bone broth and collagen. These things are very good for your joints, don't get me wrong, but however, they have zero evidence that it actually grows bones in adults. Again, if you could just eat foods that would make you taller, everyone would do it. This isn't Mario. The only thing that changes is your bank balance after being lied to. F tier. Next we have body composition. Alright, now we're getting into the things that can help your appearance and make you taller. Alright, so body composition. You can have the same height, two different body fat levels, but one looks way taller than the other. And to give you an example here, he's a tall guy, but because he's overweight, he somehow looks shorter. And I've experienced this personally. When I worked at a construction site and I went to a new job site and I saw my old friend who I hadn't worked with for about 2 years, he said, "You look a lot taller," but I didn't grow. The only thing that changed was my size. Like I got more mass. And I'm not saying fat, I mean more muscle. And that's why lean is law. The jaw, the neck, the taper into the waist, all of these things are cues for how your brain perceives height. And a lean jaw and a thick neck makes your face appear longer than the same face carrying a lot of fat. Fat blurs all of it and it makes you appear shorter, compact, and horizontal. 12% body fat won't add an inch to your height, but it will make you look taller and less short, and also having better posture, which will make you appear taller. And for that, so we have jawline, C tier, body fat, C tier, B taper, C tier. All right, next we have clothing. So vertical lines make you appear taller. Crazy life hack here. If you're short, wearing suspenders will make you appear much taller than you actually are, and you will actually fix your posture, which will naturally make you taller. Horizontal lines on the opposite end will make you appear shorter and more compact. Now, what I'm about to say next is about to trigger every gym cell watching this video, but baggy hoodies and baggy clothes will subtract from your height. If you want your gym crush to notice you, having a tighter fitting clothing with a good physique will always be better than having super baggy fits. This guy is like 6'2", I think. On the website it said he was like 6 something, 6'7". No, but he was like 6 something, but you can't really tell how tall he is because the baggy fit takes away from the physique, right? Because if you have long limbs, right, like this guy, you can't see any of that. And for that reason, we're gonna move suspenders here to B tier, and we're gonna have stripes in B tier, and we're gonna move horizontal stripes or logos F tier. All right, now moving on, we have footwear. The best ROI thing you can do to add a few inches to your height. These are insane height boosters. I recommend everyone get a pair of these. A flat trainer's heel is, maybe half an inch, and you should never wear these unless you're doing leg day or something. You need shoes with a natural height boost. Think Air Forces, Air Maxes, whatever adds a couple inches. If you're going outside for nighttime game, boots and lifts for shoes, ideally these kind of socks here, right? Not the lifts, because if you get the lifts or the pads, it's a lot more noticeable and it'll sometimes stick out of your shoe and it's super obvious and it's kind of cringe. And so that's why I always say the socks over the shoes, because these are way more low key. And when you go to take your shoes off, you don't have that loss of aura when you step out of your shoes and you're minus 5 inches. All right, and so for that reason, we're gonna have shoes in A tier. We're gonna have boots in A tier. I would put socks here instead of the lifts here. All right, and finally, posture. Forward head posture will cost you about an inch of height. Your neck looks shorter, your shoulders will look narrow. Correcting your posture will add another inch to your height. You're not just losing your height, right? You're losing your aura as well. To fix this, you need to have your chin up and straight, not down, which is why it's so important to train your neck. Your neck is not only a very important muscle for attraction, but it also corrects your posture and keeps your head upright, and it prevents it from tilting forward. You need to also have your shoulders back and down, chest up without arching your lower back. And to train all this, you need to be training your rear delts, lower traps, neck, specifically the deep neck flexors, and so that it's automatic. It's not something you should have to remember. And also your core. You see how this girl's core is collapsing, right? And it's pushing forward. A tight core and strong glutes as well. Also, you need to train that. And this will correct your posture. It'll suck your stomach in and then it'll push this forward, this part of your pelvis forward. And if you do dead hangs and pulling work in general, it'll build exactly this. And your posture isn't just a physical thing. I want you to pay attention to this. A defeated body means a defeated mind, okay? Try this when you sit down next. Spread your legs and your arms out and try to take up as much space as possible in a relaxed, comfortable way. You will notice you begin to feel much more confident and relaxed. Now contrast that with you being hunched over and your body being compressed. You feel less energetic and less confident. Now this also applies to your daily posture. A guy who's decided his height makes him lesser than others around him will carry that belief in his bodies, in his shoulders, his neck, his overall aura. And so you need to notice this habit and then fix your mind by first fixing your body day to day. And for that reason, we're going to have posture S tier and training your neck S tier, because your neck is going to stabilize your whole posture. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this video next.